welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel, or so my booktube channel. I'm so sorry. It's been months and months and months since I've posted a video. If you have seen any of some of the videos I posted, they're just mostly from from my course, my major. I'm majoring in television broadcasting, and most of the videos I'm posting is part of some assignments and projects that I've been doing in that class. Um, so yeah, if you have watched any of them, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really passionate about TV and being on camera. It's one of my dreams. Um, yeah, and I hope to do it in the future, if it is in the Lord's plan. Yeah. Um, and yeah, so school, college has been super busy. It's been taking up my life, and assignments has been taking up my life, but I absolutely love it. I'm so grateful to be in school. I never thought I would say that. This is coming from someone who never liked school, but I'm grateful for being able to take the course that I love, being able to do on camera and like work on like cameras and being on camera and things like that. It's one of my life things, my life goals, I think. Um, yeah, and yeah, I've made a lot of new friends in a varsity. It's a fellowship, it's a Christian fellowship at my college, and we're pretty much a family at this point. And yeah, it's lovely. I love those guys so much. Um, they're my they're yeah family. They're my homies. Um, Yeah, if you're wondering about the new location, it's because I'm visiting my mom in Thunder Bay. So this is not my house. This is her house. She um, and she's living with a roommate as well. And so, I visited her for Christmas. So yeah, she's at work right now, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, like today in this video, I wanted to do a reading wrap up for 2024. Um, all the books I've read in 2024, and like give a really quick review about like what my thoughts are on them and things like that. Because it's been a while, and yeah, I don't know how many books I've read that last year. I don't know how, I can't remember. I think I read. I'm I'm glad I read a couple of books. I didn't read. I think I read up to 10. I'm guessing. I'm like thinking I read up to 10 books, and I DNF'd a few other ones, but I have a couple. I have like two or three books that are like my favorite of last year. I absolutely love them. I wouldn't say like they're the best books I've ever read, but they're ones that I really, really enjoyed. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. I posted all of the books I read on my Instagram. If you are interested in following on my Instagram, I'll put it in the description. You guys want to follow me there? All right, the first book I read in 2024 was called Charming as a Verb, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Um, it's about two black teenagers living in New York. The male character is he has this dog business, I believe, and he meets this other girl um, at his school, and she's like really smart. She's like the smartest girl in their school, and they basically all I remember is like he's lying about his business pretty much, and like the girl pretty much blackmails him into saying like make me popular, make me like cool, and I won't expose your secret, and yeah, it's like a fake dating trope. If you like fake dating, I would say give this book a try. I thought what I really thought it was really refreshing to for like um for black love, especially young black love, and it's not like super dramatic and things like that, because I always see that in books with black characters, especially if it's a love story and it's so overdone and it's so annoying, and I'm like so done with it. It's like at this point I'm like so um I'm so like turned off by it. I'm like so desensitized by that stuff. I'm like so done with it. Oh, I remember I posted um like there's a line from the book that I absolutely love. It's when the male character describes his love interest, and he's like, unlike anyone I've ever met, this girl could so easily make my heart her complete her complete B word. And I remember I laughed so hard when I read that line. It was so hilarious. Um, it was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. Loved that line specifically. My issue with the book was that it could have been better. It like especially like near towards the end, it was really rushed. Um, I didn't really connect with the love story as much as I wanted to. Um, Again, I really appreciate the representation of like a healthy black love, you know, like, and also the male character gave me a lot of Miles Morales vibes. If you watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, like you'll understand what I'm talking about. But he definitely gave off that vibe, and also their whole love story reminds me a little bit of Miles and Gwen, even though Miles and Gwen are an interracial pairing. Uh, but but yeah, like I liked it. I liked the first half of the book. It was something a little refreshing. Is um, and the male character is Haitian, so there's some Haitian representation. So yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, I feel like it really rushed towards the end, and I wasn't really satisfied with the ending, especially just because it's supposed to be like a romance book. With the epilogue, I get they were going for a more realistic take. I'm not gonna spoil it if you want or interested in reading it, but it but yeah, wasn't completely satisfied. I kind of skimmed through a chunk of the last part. Um, yeah, but those are my thoughts of Charming as a Verb. If you're interested, sorry, I have eye bags. It happens a lot. School, you know, and phone. It can do a lot. Sorry, aunties, if you're watching this. Okay, the next book I read was Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved the book, and I love the movie. The movie came out last year. It's starring Isabella Merced, Craig Chiquino, Felix Millard, if I'm saying his name right. He's in Ginny and Georgia, and yeah, a bunch of other characters. Even Debbie Ryan makes a cameo in one of the scenes. I love the movie. It's so underrated. And yeah, if you love the book, I think you'll like the movie, at least for me. But yeah, the book was great. It was such a great read. It was very insightful, even though it's fictional. Like, it really tackles um, a disorder that's not often talked about much. It's called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Um, Actually, I could be wrong. I think OCD is brought up, but you don't see it a lot in fiction. And I think Turtles All the Way Down is the first book to explore that, because Ava, our main character, has OCD, and it takes over her entire life. The way she touches things, and like it's controlling, it's consuming her mind. She can't get that thought out of her head. I think there's different types of OCD as well. The one she has in the book, it deals with bacteria and germs. So she has this scab on her finger, and like she has to clean the band-aid. She has to create a new band-aid. Like, it's like she can't. She's so hyperfixated on her scab on her finger, and there's other things as well. And yeah, it really made me have a lot more compassion about people who do have OCD. And made me more aware. It's not as glamorous as people make it seem to be. It's so stressful. It takes over your life, and I'm really grateful to have read it, and was I was yeah I was grateful to get my hands on the book and read more about it. It was very, very important. And I think for people who do struggle with OCD, or know a family member or a friend who does struggle with OCD, I would say pick it up for them. Um, I again highly recommend it. John Green is a great writer. Um, I know about The Fault in Our Stars, but I don't know if I'm interested in reading the book. I think John Green is like he writes really well. He writes these great characters. He really takes his time to research the information on certain disorders and diseases and things like that, which I think was really great. And especially in a YA book, it's great. Yeah, highly recommend Turtles All the Way Down. I wish I could talk more about it. If you want to hear my full thoughts on Turtles on the Way Down, go to my YouTube channel. I did a full spoiler-free / spoiler review on Turtles All the Way Down. And I also mentioned the movie as well. If you are interested, it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. Please go and watch it if you're interested. Yeah, highly recommend. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The reason why I give it a 4.5 is because I thought the ending was a little sad. The book ending, the movie ending gives a very hopeful. It's very hopeful, which I appreciated. You know, it's better than a sad ending. Sorry, spoiler alert. Okay, the next book that I'm excited to talk about is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm really upset at myself that I never did a review on this book, because it's definitely like my favorite book I've read in 2024. It's an amazing novel. It's by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you don't know, she wrote The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is her most popular book, of all time. Her most popular book that she's ever written is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And she's also written other novels as well. Daisy Jones and the Six, which has a TV show on Amazon Prime. Which I think I'll pick up Daisy Jones. Her writing style is great. She knows how to. She's very character driven with her books. Like, she really takes the time to delve into the characters, and that's one of her biggest strengths. Yeah, Malibu Rising, dude, that book was amazing. I read it in about 2-3 days. I'll give you a synopsis of what goes on in the book. It's basically these 4 siblings. They all live in this beach house in Malibu, California, and they decide they want to throw a party. They want to throw a house party, a beach party. They want to invite all their friends and some famous people to this party. And yeah, it's more than that. It's more than just 4 rich kids throwing a party. There's a lot more than that. The book also delves into their parents, how they met, their whole love story. I usually don't love time jumps. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Hey guys, hello. We switched locations because my mom's roommate came back. Sorry. I think the lighting is a lot better in this location, so this will be it. Okay, back to the plot. Yeah, so the kids throw a party, and their parents' love story, you know, how they met, and you know, how they had the kids and things like that. But there's a lot more to that. It's a lot deeper than that. Like I said, this book is very character focused. If you're not into character focused books, maybe this book isn't for you. But for me, I was so invested in these characters. Their stories, their arcs throughout the book is so interesting. Every single character plays a huge role in this story in one way or another. The oldest sibling, you know, pretty much takes on the mom role, to her younger siblings. You know, the boys, they're these two boys, they're twins. They're like best friends. They're like each other's twin flame, like ride or die, like they're inseparable, but they also have secrets of their own that they're not telling the other person. And you know, the youngest sibling is going through her journey, her self journey, and things like that. You know, and yeah, it's a great story. It's about, you know, family. You know, it's, you know, drama. There's a lot of family drama in this show. Show. There's a lot of family drama in this book. I really hope that this book becomes a TV show, like a little mini series or something. I would love to watch it. It was so good. Um, I gave it, hell, I think I'm gonna give it a 4.75. I think, well, I don't know what my original rating was. I think it might have been a 4.5, but I think I might up it to a 4.75. I think the only because there were some parts of the book that didn't, it was a little unnecessary, some pages that were unnecessary. And also, there's a character named Carrie Soda who, if you don't know, has her own book written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Um, it's called Carrie Soto is Back, which is a sports book. If you like sports, if you like tennis, read Carrie Soto is Back. You don't have to read Malibu Rising to read Carrie Soto is Back. It's its own thing. Um, yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I might up it up to a 4.5. Um, beautiful, beautiful book. Beautiful book. Great standalone. Yeah, highly recommend it. The next book I read is Mandisa Out of the Dark, My Journey Through the Shadows to Find God's Joy, written by Mandisa. If you don't know Mandisa, she passed away last year. Mandisa was a gospel singer. She made very uplifting Christian music. I used to listen to her songs on the radio, so I have a little bit of an attachment to this lady and her music, because I grew up listening to her on Christian radio. Overcomer's her most popular song, and some others as well. And she was pretty much my childhood. So I was really sad when she died. Um, if you wanna, it's a memoir pretty much of her story, you know, with God, and she was on American Idol, you know, her music career, everything. You know, losing her best friend to cancer, like she talks about grief and joy and, you know, the ups and downs of her walk with God and everything. It's one of the realest Christian books I've ever read. And yeah, she was amazing. She was an amazing woman. She always had a smile on her face. It seemed in interviews she was always so positive and just so bright and just so optimistic, you know. And that's really the Holy Spirit doing things with her. And, you know, I was so sad when she died, like I said. And yeah, I just, yeah, I highly recommend. If you like memoirs, if you are a Christian, even if you're not a Christian, like, I would give the book a try. If you like memoirs, if you like autobiographies, give the book a try. Yeah, it's a lovely story. Her story was amazing, and she was cut from this life too early. She was only 43 when she passed, and yeah, I'm so sad. She wanted to have children as well, which was the sad part, and she never did. She never got married either. Yeah, sorry, I'm like rambling here, but yeah, highly recommend. The next book I read, just give me a second. Oh, okay, this was my first DNF of 2024. It's Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I I read this, I picked this up because people were comparing it to The Office, and The Office is one of my favorite shows of all time. I absolutely love The Office, and I picked it up because people have said it gives off The Office. I read the first 50 to 100 pages of this book, and I literally was turned off. First of all, I didn't like the fact I appreciate the uniqueness it was trying to take. Like, I get what this author was trying to do. Um, it was done in the email format. Literally, the entire book is told through email, which is fine. It's something new, something different, but like it's again like you have to balance it out with actual dialogue. There's literally like no dialogue, no interaction between the male character and like his love interest. There's none of that. He's just describing what he sees when he looks at her, and it was a big turn off. The guy was a pretty much a loser, not like a necessarily a red flag, but he was pathetic. The guy was pathetic and a kind of a loser. Yeah, and also the two there's two female characters who are best friends, and like they go back and forth about the guy and things like that, and things that happen at their work, and it's honestly so boring and lame. I'm not interested. It's like they're pretty much like gossiping throughout the whole book, and it's just I don't care. Yeah, so this book was a huge turn off, and I I just didn't finish it. If you like it, sorry. It just wasn't for me. I know Rainbow Rowell has a big fan base. She's written a ton of other books that are a lot of people's favorites. And I think Attachments was one of her first books. It's not her first book. I think it's not. I don't think it's her first book. It's one of her early works. I could be wrong. It might be her first book, but yeah, it's it's very outdated. I saw another thing. The next book I read was definitely the heaviest book I've read this year. I picked it up because it was very popular on TikTok. Um, and yeah, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Uh, it's called My Dark Vanessa. If you are on TikTok, in the first half of 2024, you are probably might have heard of My Dark Vanessa. And let me see. Let me see who it's by. It's by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This book was a lot to get through. It is not an easy read. It is, yeah, it's very disturbing. It's probably one of the most disturbing books I've ever read, if not the most disturbing books. I refuse to read A Little Life because I know it's gonna be, you know, depressing, and sad and miserable. There's no happiness in that book of us. So what people have said. My Dark Vanessa, kind of the same thing. Very depressing, disturbing. If you don't know, it's about a young girl who is in a relationship with her English teacher who's in his 30s. He takes advantage of her. Sex scenes were very explicit and very yuck. Yeah, he takes advantage of her. He grooms her. He like molests her, if you want to call it that. He says it's romantic. I don't know what his deal is with this. Why is he so fast infatuated with Vanessa? It's from Vanessa's perspective. I know it's based off of an old classic book called Lolita. In that book, it's told by the men's perspective, but this time, this book is told from Vanessa's perspective, and the book goes from her young self, her 15-year-old self, to her 30-something-year-old self, how she had to deal with the trauma, with that toxic relationship, and because of that relationship she was in with that teacher, she found it very difficult to create other relationships with new people, and even with her parents, her relationship with her parents became strained, because of that. I think she told her parents. It's been months since I read it, and I tried to block that out of my mind. It was too much. I was like so desensitized by that book. Yeah, I was grossed out. It was gross and whatever, but like I was so desensitized. I've seen so many trauma media, then like at this point I'm just, what else is new? you know. It's very, yeah. You have to probably be a strong, emotionally strong person in order to read this book, I think. this is my opinion. You probably have to be very emotionally mature and strong enough to pick up a book like this, because it's not an easy read. It's very graphic, and um, it's not happy. It's not a happy time. So yeah, those are my thoughts of My Dark Vanessa. The ending was a little better. It's not good, but it's better. It's a little bit more open ended. It's a lot more hopeful. It's more realistic, I guess. But yeah, not a bad book. I thought the writing style was I was gonna say bad. No, it's fine. The writing style is fine. It was well written. But probably never picking this book up again. Probably not. It's kind of gross. Anyway, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, well written. But everything else, please get it away from me. Anyway, next book. Okay, another DNF of 2024 was called The Marriage Clock by Zara Rahl. Sorry if I'm saying her last name right. Yeah, I described on Instagram. I said the book in the second half dragged on for too long and introduced characters I didn't care for. And yeah, definitely not. It's a good. I like the plot. I like the way it was described. You know, this girl, her parents. She's an Indian girl, and her parents really want her to get married. You know, and she gives off an ultimatum, like a compromise. Hey, let me pick out the husband that I want. An Indian. He has to be Indian. Let me pick the husband that I want. If I can't find one, they give her like about a month or a couple months to find a man. No. They give her like 3 months to find a man. If you can't find a man within those 3 months, we have to pick one for you. So, yeah. So she goes on these blind dates and blah 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 blah. And yeah, I feel like the problem I had with this main character was that she was very picky. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, she's trying to find a husband within 3 months. I get the point. But, like, she was, I don't know. I feel like in some parts she was pretty kind of condescending and a bit rude to some of the guys, you know. Yeah, I didn't really like her attitude in some of in the book. You know, I was expecting her to be a little bit quirky. She's like not like other Indian girls, but no, she kind of annoyed me throughout the book. So I skimmed through the last part of the book, and I said, no, I'm DNFing this. I skimmed through the end, and yeah, nothing. I don't think she ever gets a man, does she? If she does, good for her. But I didn't really care anymore. I was like, no, I'm done. Yeah. So there's that. There's The Marriage Clock. I will say this though. I like the representation of some Indian Bollywood stuff. I used to watch a lot of Bollywood movies when I was a kid. I still do. I love Shah Rukh Khan. They mentioned Shah Rukh Khan a little bit, and some other Indian actors and actresses. So I thought that was cool. Next book, I literally I kid you not, I literally returned this book to the library after the first page. It's called A Portrait of Emily Price by Catherine Reed. The book was promising, something different. All I remember is that I think she goes to Italy and she finds this handsome Italian man, but his family maybe doesn't approve. But this time it takes place in Sicily, you know. And I picked this book up because I thought I watched this Netflix show called From Scratch, and it's basically a black woman who falls in love with a Sicilian man, and it's a very sad TV series. I'm not gonna spoil it. If you want to watch it, I will highly recommend it. I will recommend it to you. Watch from scratch. It's starring Zoe Saldana. And yeah, first page. The writing was, I didn't like the writing style. Yeah, I was turned off by it by like page 1, page 2, or even like the first chapter. It's been months, literally. I think I'm gonna give it a 0. Or like a 0.5, because like, no. Can I give 0 stars? Probably not. So I'll just give it a 1 star. Not good. Not for me. Next book. Ooh, this another DNF. You guys are gonna get mad. You guys are gonna get really mad. When I say this, please don't come for me, especially if you're a young Christian woman. I DNF'd Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. I'm not going to go into much into detail about why I DNF'd it. Basically, I was really, again, similar to my Dark Vanessa, the first chapter really turned me off. It was very graphic. I think they were trying to explain like the backstory of the female character, and like what she had to endure before she met her future husband. But my God, too much. Also, I don't really like historical fiction that much, so that's another thing. Yeah, so, and this is marketed as a Christian book, by the way. If you like it, if you are a Christian, if you're a young Christian woman, and if you love Redeeming Love, I'm so sorry. Even the movie couldn't save it. The movie wasn't terrible, but again, it also, actually, I prefer it to the book, to be honest, but still, yeah. Sorry, girlies. It wasn't a bad book. I thought the writing style was, actually, it was a little difficult to follow. The writing style was a little bit difficult to follow, especially because of, it was using like 18th century slang, 18th, 19th century dialogue, so that's why it was hard to understand what was going on. But yeah, sorry. It wasn't a bad book, just not for me. Will I pick it up in the future? Maybe not. You never know. I change my mind easily, but I'm not saying no, but I'm also not saying yes. So here's that. Okay, moving on before you guys attack me in the comments. Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. R.F. Kuang is a very talented writer. She uses a lot of big words in her books. This was my first R.F. Kuang books. She's written the Poppy War series, which is, it's trending on Book Talk right now. It's been there for a while, since like 2017, 2018, but now it's like people are discovering the series and picking it up and absolutely devouring it. I might read it, but I'm not a huge fantasy person, but well, we'll see. Yellow Face. It was like, I picked this up because the premise was super interesting. It deals with plagiarism. So there's this woman, and she has this coworker who's very successful in the business. They both work in the same business. They're both writers. She's a very successful writer, and she's on top of her game. She has the man of her dreams. Her book is making tons and tons of money. She's becoming rich and all that, and our main girl is envious of her. She's envious. She wants that life. She wants her life. So I'm not going to go too much into details. You have to read it for yourself. The first chapter literally had me gagged. But yeah, it deals with plagiarism. That's all you need to know. And yeah, and it was also interesting to read about how the publishing industry works, the book publishing industry works, how competitive it is. Yeah, it was a great time. Highly recommend it. It was my first R.F. Kuang book, and yeah, I liked it. I read it. I read the rest of the book while I was getting my braids done. Not this one, but I had a braids a while back with like a golden string, and that was one of my favorite hairstyles I've ever done. And yeah, I finished it really quickly. Very, very well written. It was a little boring some parts, but pretty good. Another book I read, Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. Another popular book talk book. I couldn't get into it. Sorry, I was bored. I think it was supposed to deal with racism, black racism. Was turned off, bored. Like, I feel like everything that happened in the book, the suspense and everything that happened in the first chapter, and then the rest of it just kind of like fell off for me. Yeah, I think I remember this is black lady and she's a nanny to this white child, and they go to the grocery store, and this person calls the police on her because they think she's kidnapping her, but she's like, no, I'm babysitting her, I'm her nanny. And and that's pretty much what I remember. It's not a bad book. Maybe I would say pick it up if you're into that type of thing. And yeah, it was very popular last year, so yeah. I would say give it a try. Okay, and I DNF'd it, but I think I'm gonna give it a 2.5. 2.5? 2 out of 5. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 stars. So yeah. Okay, final book. Oh, I DNF'd this too. This is Life After College. It was by Jeffrey J. Silinga. I read this because I'm about to graduate soon, and I wanted to pick it up to get some motivation, but I was really turned off. It was, I guess it was more of like an information type of book instead of like a journey experience type of book, which just seems like really unfair for me to say, but it's fine. Yeah, I DNF'd this one, and sorry. And no, I'm not sorry. If you like books like this, pick it up if you're interested. Okay, that's all the books I read in 2024. Currently, I will show you what I'm currently reading. Just give me a second. Alright, hi again. I'm currently reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is taking me longer to read because it also deals with black trauma, and also I picked this up because it was very small to put on the plane, in my backpack, so that's why I took it, and it's very short. But I won't lie to you, it's taken me a while to finish this. It's even though it's short. A, the dialogue, and B, it's not an easy read. It's very dark. It deals with black beauty standards and child pregnancy. Especially, I think this girl, Pacola, our main character, gets pregnant by her dad. Her dad gets her pregnant. Rape. Incest. The whole bread and butter. Yeah, so yeah, it's taking me longer to read. Toni Morrison, like, this is her. Not a bad author. She's written a lot of books, and yeah, and her writing is really great. You know, it's just not easy at all to read. The reviews on Book Talk have been very positive, so I will finish this when I can, and I will give an update for the month of January. And then there's another book I want to pick up. I need to start reading more fiction. I like I like fiction, and fiction is very popular in BookTok. And if you have any fiction recommendations that is less spicy, no spice, please, no spice, but very interesting. I don't mind romance, but just don't add any spice. If you have any recommendations, please put it in the comments below. Yeah, please put it in the comments down below. I'll read it, please. Or even like, I'm open to fantasy, but it's not my genre, so be wise, please, in the comments. Science fiction, I love science fiction. Recommend that to me. And some other things, other genres, but I need to start reading more fiction. I love nonfiction, but fiction is, and also don't make it like traumatic. It needs to be like a fun, easy book. Have a fun time. I don't mind sad books, but I need something happy sometimes. I'm tired of reading all this sad crap. Yeah. But there's another nonfiction book that my mom gave to me. It's called Secret Daughter, written by Shilpi Samaya Gowda. The synopsis is really interesting. It reminds me of Lion, a book I read in 2013. That's one of my favorite books. And I think it's basically Lion, the book, but it's from a female. It's literally the female. She's literally the female version of the guy from the Lion book. Lion, A Long Way Home. I highly recommend that book. That book is amazing. I haven't watched the movie, but the book is amazing. It's incredible. Like, pick this up. Wait, I can't tell you to pick up the Lion book. Pick up Lion, A Long Way Home. Pick up that book. Great book. 5 out of 5. Incredible. You'll get through it. You'll fly through it. It's an amazing series. Girl. An amazing standalone. It's a standalone. It's an amazing book. It's nonfiction. It's great. This one reminds me of Lion, A Long Way Home, the book. And yeah, I think I'll pick this up. It looks really interesting. Yeah, like from a female's perspective. Anyway, that's me. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the delay. I miss making YouTube videos, and I miss doing book reviews. And please recommend me anything, in the comments. Put it in the comments below. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in another video. I'll probably make another video just for funsies. I'm thinking of my next review will be on my favorite childhood books, my favorite books as a child, because there's a lot of books that shaped my childhood, and I will put it in a video. I just have to think of more books that I read that shaped my childhood, but I'll definitely put it in a video. Yeah. Okay. Have a great January. Have a great 2025, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.